Welcome back to the SSL Family Dad channel. We are out here with the old suburban chicken coop I have right here behind me. The one that we built. Free plans are available on our website, and you can check that out if you're interested in building a coop come this spring. It's really easy to build, fairly inexpensive, and it's all real easy, 2x4 construction and stuff like that. So, but we built this about 5 years ago when we had our small suburban little lot. And it only holds about 6 to 8 chickens, comfortably. So for the wintertime, I move all the chickens out of this coop. This is just a breeding coop. We separate chickens out for breeding purposes. But I've moved all of them together in the big flock in the pole barn. And so it's time to put this little chicken coop to use throughout the winter months, and what better thing to use it for than a little chicken brooder. So I'll kind of take you through the chicken coop and some of the little adjustments that I've made here to convert it from just a regular chicken coop into a brooder, and I'll show you some of the things that we're using to kind of make this a little bit automated and hopefully safer and also less expensive to run. So if you followed along with this coop, it's been a great little chicken coop for us, and it has the easy clean out tray underneath that you saw me putting that back together at the beginning of the video there, and I just put this board in to block off the nesting boxes, because obviously we don't need those when the baby chicks are this young. So we added the heat lamp to this here, and a couple things with heat lamps. So this can be a pretty dangerous thing, having heat lamps in a big bed of thin wood shavings and out in barns with straw and all that kind of stuff. So you want to be careful with these heat lamps. So I always clamp them to wood here. A lot of times I'll put a screw or a clamp or something like that actually screwed down to the wood. But the safety trick is always tie your cord up to something. I've got it stapled to the ceiling in this case. You can wrap it around, zip tie it to something above it. And so if this whole thing falls off, that heat lamp's not going anywhere. It's not going to fall into the pine shavings. It's not going to touch anything that will start on fire. And so this just keeps it a little extra safe. You gotta, these things can start a lot of fires, so you got to be real careful with heat lamps. So the other trick is I have gotten away from those standard kind of red heat lamp bulbs, red or clear. Those bulbs have gotten so expensive for us, and they do not last very long. I'm literally burning one of those things out after each batch of chickens it goes through, and so that adds $10 or whatever they are, $7 to each batch. These are a ceramic heater. They do not emit any light, but they're just it fits right in the heat lamp just like a bulb does. And this one's 150 watt. You can get up to 200 watts. They're a little more efficient than the bulbs are. They don't put any light out, like I said, but they do just emit heat. And these things, they're like the LEDs of heat lamps. They last way longer. They're not sensitive to drops. They're much tougher, and so this is what we'll be using in our heat lamp here to just warm this up. Now the chickens that we're putting out here, they are a good 4 or 6 weeks old, so they don't need to be kept at a real high temperature. Really, we've kept them at about 60-65 degrees out in the garage for the last 2 weeks, and they've been just fine. But now it's time to get them out of that little. I had a real little brooder in the garage, and now it's time to get them out into a little bit more space. This heat lamp's not going to keep it at 60 degrees in this coop. It'll probably keep it maybe 50 or at least above 45, and that's totally fine. I just don't want to throw them out into the cold. It's 18 degrees today, so I want to make sure that it stays warm in here. Now if I really wanted, if I'm putting younger chicks out here, I would probably get the higher wattage ceramic heat lamp for this. So if I were going to put younger chicks out here, I probably would want to bump this light up to the 200, or I believe there's a 250 watt heater. I shouldn't say light, it's not a light. And that would provide a little more heat in here. But I expect that this will, keep this little area in here warm enough for those chicks. Because these bulbs don't emit any light, I don't want it to be pitch dark in here for these guys. So I have added a little, just a lamp up in the corner. That lamp is actually plugged into one of these smart outlets. I buy these on Amazon. I'll put a link to these in the description, as well as that little ceramic heater. these are super cheap. I think they're maybe $7, $8 a piece, and you can get a 2, 3 pack of them. They're little Wi-Fi plugs. They just plug right in, connect to your Wi-Fi, and you can control it from your phone. You can also set it on a schedule, so you can program it as like a timer. And basically, it's about the cost of a timer anyway. So I can program this to just come on, for daytime hours or whatever, and then go off at nighttime. So the other thing that I have in here are these little temperature sensors. Now I've showed these before, but these things have been super handy. They're from a company called Govee, and these are basically just a little temperature and humidity sensor. So the package of these comes with 2 sensors and 1 Wi-Fi gateway. So you actually have to have a little Wi-Fi gateway plugged in somewhere, and then that connects to your wireless network and then communicates with the little temperature sensors here. So I've got one that I strapped inside the coop, kind of not right below the heat lamp, but pretty close, so I can measure the temperature that it will be kind of in this area right here. And so I can keep an eye on this from my smartphone, and you can set alerts on the app to actually tell you, if the temperature drops below whatever temperature you set it at, so 40 degrees or 50 degrees, and it'll alert you, send an email or alert you notification on your phone, let you know, hey, there's something wrong. The heater's out, the power's out, something's going on. I can also use the smart outlet for the same thing. I can check the power out here from the app. It'll tell me if the outlet has power or not. So up here I've also added this is the little wireless gateway that goes along with those temperature sensors. And so this just connects to the wireless network and communicates the temperature sensor readings through the internet back to your app on your phone. So I just strapped another one on the outside of the coop here. This will just give us the outside temperature and humidity, which is useful year-round for us to just monitor and keep an eye on. Anyway, especially if I can set this one to notify me if it drops below freezing, so I know whenever all the waters are going to be frozen out here for the animals. These little guys run off of battery power, and they run for quite a long time. We've had them out here for a few weeks already, of course, and batteries are still fine. And they're weatherproof, so they can be outside. So I'll put a link for those as well over on Amazon, the little temperature sensor kit from Govee. That company actually sent those to me to try out here, and I jumped right on that because they sent me another set of them I'm going to use in the greenhouse because I'm going to be heating the greenhouse, and what a great way to monitor the temperature in there and make sure, again, I need to know if it's getting close to freezing in there. If I have plants growing in there or other things that are temperature sensitive, I need to know if the heater's broken or the power's out or something's not working out there, and I need to be able to monitor that remotely. So these things are super handy for all kinds of purposes around the farm. So the door in the coop will just stay closed and locked shut, so nothing can get in here and harm the little chicks. There's only one thing left to do. Let's bring out the chicks. So the temperature sensors are all monitored through the Govee Home app, and here's the 2 that I have set up right now. I have the chicken brooder, the chick brooder, and it's been about 10 minutes, and temperature's already up to about 40 degrees, and the outside temperature, it's at 28.6. So this gives me a pretty good idea of where everything's at. It's nice too because you can check actually the data from the past, so you can actually go back over the week or over the month and over the year and look at the temperature trends, and it saves all the data. There's no charge or anything like that to for it to keep the data for you, and it's pretty nice. So these are going to come in handy out here. You can actually set the alarms for the temperature meters here. So right now I'm going to set it to, if it drops below 35 degrees, then it'll notify me. So I don't want it getting below freezing out here. I don't really care about the humidity. we'll turn the humidity alarm off. I don't care about that. But this just sends you an alert. So it does an email and it does a notification on your phone or smart device when it drops below that temperature, or if it gets above, let's say, if it gets above 90 degrees in the coop, then you know, I obviously don't want it that hot in there either. So to those two things, it'll just send you a notification. That way I can know if there's something wrong with the heater. So now I can kind of monitor the outside temperature at the coop as well as the inside temperature, make sure the chicks are doing okay. Well, they're all in their new home. So 6 of these mutts, these guys are mixed with whatever we had in the flock. So, and this guy here, we've been keeping an eye on him. He's been had a really rough time with the back of his neck there. I think they're maybe picking at him a little bit. And his feathers just have, ever since he was born, he really hasn't grown in good feathers in the back of his neck. So, or him or her, I'm not sure yet. Actually, that's a her, because that one is a black star, we think, which is a Rhode Island red rooster and a barred rock hen that makes a black star or a black sex link. So the all black ones, I think, are hens in that case. And it looks like we have maybe a Rhode Island over here. One of these are these 2 later ones, either Rhode Islands or a mixture of a Rhode Island or an Isa. Possibly a mixture between a Rhode Island and a Buff Orpington. So we're not sure yet. All kind of just a mix, but these guys are going to be happy in here. Temperatures should warm up to, I'm guessing, about 45, 50 degrees in the brooder here. That's fine. They've been outside at 60 degrees, and they've got lots of feathers, and they snuggle together and keep warm. Well, what do you think? The smart brooder, I guess you could call it. Not sure what we'll call it, but it's those little smart devices. You know, I used to be an IT guy, and any way I can integrate the technology that is out there, especially with it being so cheap these days, for all these little smart devices, and manage these animals and manage the greenhouse and be able to keep an eye on things to prevent, you know, things from happening. These chicks, it take a long time to grow up, and a lot of electricity and heat lamps and feed and caring for them. And you know, I don't want anything to happen to them. I would never be able to put them out here in this coop without these little temperature sensors. I just would never trust that something isn't going to happen and they're going to die out here and freeze to death. You know, it's January, Michigan. Temperatures are starting to finally get cold here, and it was like 16, 17 degrees last night. They're pretty hardened off for the cold weather, but they're not going to handle that, I don't think, very well. So they need some warmth. And now I can have peace of mind. I can check the temperature out here real easily, make sure the lights turn on and off properly, make sure power's out here and everything, and I don't have to, you know, I can do that all right from my phone. So there'll be a video coming out in the next month or two on our kind of our whole chick raising process. I've said this before. I'm going to go, you know, from start to finish, from collecting eggs to caring for them, incubating them, hatching them out, and caring for them up to about 8 weeks, and that's when we put them into the main coop. So, but hopefully you guys enjoyed the video today. Don't forget to hit thumbs up as always, guys. It really does make a big difference on the video. So those of you guys that follow along, and if you enjoyed the video and you are not subscribed, hit thumbs up for me. I always appreciate it. And of course, subscribe if you're not. All you gotta do is hit the button. It's not that hard. Just reach down, hit subscribe. Done. As always, guys, thanks for watching. Have a good one.